Hey everyone, it's Rob the Backyard Gardener, and I know it has been forever since we've updated you on my mango tree that I've grown from seed. And before I do that, I just want to say thank you for those that have been asking me to go ahead and update it, and I put you off. There's a reason for it, and I will explain all of that in this video. Really quick, I just realized while editing this video, I forgot to give you guys a more thorough timeline of the events since the last update. So I've written them down on a paper in front of me, and we're gonna go ahead and quickly cover that before we get back to the video. So this clip is inserted while editing. First, the last update was on October 12th, 2019. It was 14 months old, or just over 14 months old. Around November, middle of November that year, we were supposed to have a freeze, so I brought it into the garage. I should have brought it upstairs into the indoor grow room, but it was only supposed to get down to around 32 degrees, and I figured one night in the garage wouldn't be a big deal. So I made space and I put it in the garage, and just a couple of days in the garage and I realized it was pretty cold, a lot colder than I thought. So I went ahead and grabbed it at that point and brought it upstairs in the indoor grow room. Over the next couple of weeks in the indoor grow room, this is December now of 2019, I noticed the plant started having signs of frost damage. In other words, some of the upper stem was starting to turn brown and to shrivel, and that was a bad sign. So I tried my best to nurse it back to care, but over the next 3 or 4 months, it really just died from basically the first node all the way up. Once I realized it was pretty much dead, I went ahead and chopped it at that first node, but the root ball looked pretty good when I took it out of the soil, and I thought, why don't I repot this, straighten the stem out, and see what it does over the next few months. To my surprise, it actually didn't do too bad. It shot out a new sprout. And that sprout, although it didn't do well, it did grow. Over the next, basically, what is this? This is from May of 2020 through July of 21. We went through ups and downs. It would grow a little bit, drop its leaves. I thought it was a watering issue, nutrient issue. I fertilized it, I did everything I could, and it kept on rebounding and dying and rebounding. And I thought, man, this series is done. I might have to start another one. But it prevailed. Last year, I noticed that in October, it was starting to do really good. So I brought it indoors in October. And once again, it didn't like the change in the temperatures of being outside and then indoors. And it started having problems. But when I brought it in, I clipped the top couple of feet, 3 feet of it, and broke the top 3 feet off. Once again, it had a disease spot and the plant suffered. And yeah, so finally, the end of March of this year, 2022, I brought it out here on the patio. I hardened it off for about 10 days. And then a couple of days ago, I put it in its resting spot that you'll watch in this video. Anyway, I wanted to give you guys a timeline because while editing, like I said, I noticed that I wasn't really that thorough of what's been going on since July of 2019 all the way now to April of 2022. That being said, it is time at 44 and a half months to get you guys updated on my mango tree that I started from seed on July 21st, 2018. Okay, so we're getting ready to walk over to the side of the yard that has the mango tree that I've grown from seed. I will tell you that it has spent the last 5.5 months indoors. It then spent 10 days hardening off in indirect sunlight. And yesterday was the first day that we actually put it in its resting spot where it's going to be throughout the rest of the spring, the summer, and into fall. It seems to have acclimated okay. The leaves are a little bit tired from direct sunlight, but we'll see how it does. The spot that it's in right now gets about 4 hours of direct sunlight. Then it gets a little bit less sunlight because the sun moves over the houses. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Sorry about the sun glare. Let's go take a look at this mango tree grown from seed and see how it's doing. So here is the mango plant sitting at 44 and a half months old, and definitely have had a lot of setbacks growing this guy, and we'll cover that more into detail, but I wanted to give you kind of a quick look at how it's doing. Now, if you pay close attention, you'll see that there is a break or a broken part right here at the top. And again, I'll cover what happened here in just a moment. But in the meantime, since it's been so long since my last update, I kind of just wanted to start from the bottom up and give you guys a good look at the progress on this mango tree. And like I said, we've had a lot of setbacks, but it's starting to finally look like it might actually make it through another season. I haven't recorded a lot of episodes on this one because we had a hard freeze that pretty much killed it. Then it got broken. Then it went ahead and shot out some new sprouts. And then I did my best to keep it in the indoor grow room, and I tried to manage the watering, but some of the leaves just didn't look good. They actually dropped a lot of leaves. I'm hoping where these leaves dropped, we get some sprouts coming from that branch as well. But at the end of the day, I'm really hoping that these two sprouts start putting out, let me get this focused, start putting out some side branches. We're going to need some more leaves if we're going to put on some size this year, and it also will need some shade from the Texas summer coming in the next few months. Anyway, I will get more into detail about some of the setbacks. Just wanted to give you guys a good look at this plant and see how it's doing. I know it's been a long time since I've done any updates, but I want to talk a little more in detail now about some of the setbacks we've had on this mango tree that I've grown from seed. So setback number one was right here at this base of this, and you'll recall it used to be curved, and we had a hard freeze, and honestly, the whole top of the plant died. I had to cut it right there at that curve. At that point, it actually shot up a new sprout, and it continued to grow, and I was surprised. Now, I should have done an update on it then, but I decided to see if it would even survive because it took forever for that new sprout to even generate good leaf growth and consistent leaf growth. It had leaf drop. I couldn't quite get it to actually set the leaves and hold the leaves, and I did my best. But that was the first setback right there at the base. I went ahead and took the liberty of straightening out the planting of it at that point, since I wanted to kind of get this plant to be more vertical versus leaned over and potentially breaking from the weight of maybe the fruit in future years if we didn't correct it. The next set of setbacks has been tough because keeping it indoors, I am trying to figure out the demand for water, and we have all kinds of leaf damage here, and I don't know if it's from lack of nutrients, lack of watering, inconsistent watering, overwatering. I've tried everything, and I just can't get the leaves to look as good as the mature leaves like you see down below here. Once the leaves turn dark green, it seems like they're a lot more hardy and a lot more stronger when it comes to either inconsistencies in nutrients or watering. And I'll just have to figure out what the demands for this plant are if I'm going to be successful in getting it to bear fruit down the road. The final setback was no one's fault other than my own. When I was bringing it in last winter, I broke that piece right there, and we lost about 3 feet on this. Didn't pay attention to my surroundings, and I happened to catch it right there, and boom, we lost, like I said, about 3 feet from this plant, which is a bummer because it was looking really good. So as you can see by the myriad of setbacks we've had, self-inflicted and otherwise, this plant has prevailed over the last several years, and hoping that over the next couple of years we can do pretty well with it, and maybe in a couple of years set some fruit. We'll have to see. Well, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's mango update, guys. I promise I'll do a much better job of providing regular updates throughout 2022. I have so many other series to catch you guys up on. The citrus, the avocado, the peaches, the pears, the plum tree is growing like a weed, and all of the other series that I have started from seed. I'll also be giving you guys some backyard gardening updates and some other projects that my wife is currently working on for her cut flowers raised bed. That being said, I want to end this video with a couple of notes. One, if you're wondering when and if we can get any mangoes produced from that plant, typically it takes 5 to 8 years, and with the number of setbacks, the stunting, the breaks, you name it, I'm going to assume that my mango tree that I've grown from seeds probably not going to fruit or flower this year. Probably not next year, but if we're lucky, maybe 3 or 4 years down the road. Either way, our first obligation is to actually go through an entire year without hurting the plant for once. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this mango tree grown from seed update. If you did, I would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy gardening, and thanks for watching.